But not only is this head knowledge for him, it's experiential, and he has something really to impart to us. So welcome, Isaac Schaefer.
So in this design, looking at forgiveness, the forgiveness of self, the forgiveness of others and situations, and the influences, the motivation to forgive. And those motivation looking at security in God and anxiety and avoidance. Those three types of motivation, if you're secure in your relationship with God, you're secure in your parents' love or your love of your spouse, that works well in the movement towards forgiveness. Why do people God attach? People attach themselves to God for a number of reasons across the world and across religions. In the Christian faith, and particularly evangelicals, those who are born again, we attach to God for safety. In fact, some theorists believe our number one need is the need of safety. Also, people attach to God to get help, and help, whether it be in a storm or in life, we all cry out, God help. Even the atheists cry out, God help. It's a real phenomenon that takes place, the power of forgiveness. Here is what Jesus says about forgiveness. The Lord says, if you forgive the sins of any, they are forgiven. If you withhold forgiveness from any, it is withheld. The power of forgiveness is within our hands. We can withhold grace or extend grace. We can hold release or we can extend it. Forgiveness is defined by researchers as a psychological and emotional process. It's a process. In that process, unpleasant emotions and thoughts associated with an offense are removed. That's forgiveness. So it's not cheap. Here's a word of caution. Forgiveness does not mean that reconciliation must take place. Two big separate issues, okay? The other one, forgiveness does not mean that we release the person or the offender from their obligation to the legal system. You've heard the old saying, forgive and forget. Not really. There's a process that must occur with that, okay? However, on the good side of things, forgiveness has enormous benefits. Those benefits include physical health. Experts believe forgiveness benefits are numerous, one of which is forgiveness serves as a protective factor, meaning that forgiveness protects us emotionally. It helps us to cope with situations when we practice forgiveness. Internal forgiveness, external forgiveness, forgiveness of ourselves, emotional forgiveness, psychological forgiveness, decisional forgiveness, situational forgiveness, state forgiveness, and what else? These types of forgiveness, when they're not practiced and expressed, the issue, they stay within us. And eventually, there are issues that pops up, physical illness, anger. One last point here, be triggers. So an issue of unforgiveness can be triggered by foods, smells, faulty relationships. We go from one relationship to another, hoping to find nirvana, hoping to find peace. And what's trailing is the bag of issues of why we can't let go. Forgiveness, again, is not just some cheap statement, I forgive you. No, forgiveness is a process in which we intentionally release that person. And if we don't, didn't say this earlier, but what happens is that the enemy, our spiritual enemy, he comes to that person and he torments them. And so that's why people who do bad things, they keep doing it over and over because there are other folks who are responsible to express, release. I release you from this issue.